What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Sorry for the delay. Sorry, guys. Anyway, happy Friday, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Again, sorry for the delay on that. Season's over. Playoffs are about to start, and conversations are had about where did people put their votes for MVP. Guys, that and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Because it's all about the playoffs from here on out, and it is so exciting. I am a big fan of the WNBA playoffs. Big fan of just like big time moments where we can really see what people are really made of. Are you a real contender, or are you just a pretender? That is the question that we will be asking ourselves over the next 3 weeks. Because, guys, the playoffs is very short. It's not a long time, right? It's a good time, but it's a short time when it comes to the WNBA playoffs. And I personally am ecstatic about it. And I think it's going to be really fun. I hope you all are going to think it's going to be really fun as well. But yeah, I'm very happy about the possibilities of seeing some interesting things for the playoffs. And as we talk about the playoffs, I do just want to share with you all the lineup of who's facing who, because we came into yesterday knowing that everything was still flexible. The 8 that was going to make it to the playoffs, that was already all said and done, right? That was already decided. But what wasn't decided was the idea of, okay, well, who exactly is facing who? And guys, we have our answer. All right. In the first round of the playoffs, here are the matchups. And they are as follows. Guys, the Golden State Valkyries did end up with the 8th seed because they lost against Minnesota. The idea was if they won yesterday, they would have been out of the 8th seed, but they lost to Minnesota last night, 72-53. We'll talk more about that game in just a second. But because of that loss, they will now face the Minnesota Lynx during the first round of the playoffs. So 1 versus 8, Lynx versus Valks. We'll see what happens on that front. Of course, you know, the likelihood of the Valks beating the Lynx is not likely at all, but yeah. We also have 4 versus 5. That decision was already decided. The 4 versus 5 matchup between the Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty, that was already decided. And throughout the game yesterday, I kept telling my mom, I'm like, hey, like, New York is preparing for Phoenix. That's what they're doing. They're not, yeah, sure, they're playing the Chicago Sky yesterday, but like the idea was not the Sky. The idea was Phoenix. Trying to figure out just lineups, matchups, and just trying to make some stuff happen. On the other side of the bracket, we see the Las Vegas Aces taking on the Seattle Storm. Remember, as I said yesterday, 6, 7, and 8 was flexible depending on what Golden State did because Golden State ended up losing. Seattle moves up. They were at the 8th spot before yesterday, and now they are at 7. So we will see number 2, the Las Vegas Aces, take on number 7, Seattle Storm. I think that's going to be a very, very fun battle, but ultimately the Aces got it. But I do think that, Skylar, Nneka, and the other girls, I think they'll give the Aces a run for their money, but ultimately, I think it should be over. Honestly, probably in 2 games. I don't think it actually goes to 3, but I do think those 2 games will be competitive. I'm hoping for no blowouts. Okay. And then we also have the Atlanta Dream versus the Indiana Fever. Indiana is at that number 6 spot. Atlanta, number 3. Atlanta is looking very, very good. They are rocking and rolling. And, hey, who knows? Maybe Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston can make some interesting stuff happen. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a less competitive series than Seattle versus Aces, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, who do y'all get? I'm curious to hear what you all have to say in the comments. And guys, once we get past the first round, it's going to get very, very interesting because, guys, we have the possibility of seeing the WNBA Finals rematch in the semifinals because Minnesota and the Liberty are on the same side. So that means if they both make it through the first round, head-to-head battle, which could be very, very fun. Also, look forward to the head-to-head battle between the Las Vegas Aces and the Atlanta Dream. Now, guys, I, for one, am looking forward to that series because I got to tell you, they moved the semifinals to a best of 5 situation for semifinals, best of 7 situation for the actual finals. And I got to say, I think the semifinals, I think that's going all 5 games. Like, Vegas versus Atlanta. Oh my God. I think that's going to be straight up popcorn. It really is. It really is, guys. And then the likelihood of Minnesota versus New York. Oh, that's going to be fun. But I got to say, one important thing to note is that I don't think this is a done deal with New York being able to make it out of Phoenix. The reason why I say that is because this New York team has the most talent in the WNBA. The most talented roster, in my opinion. Hands down, right? You got John Cole Jones. You got Brianna Stewart. You got Sabrina Ionescu. You got Emma Meeseman, who just came over, right? You got a Leonie Phoebus, who is a matchup disaster in terms of, because she's a guard that's very, very tall. It's tough against her. You have Kennedy Burke, who, at one point was seriously in the running for 6th Woman of the Year, right? You have some really, really good players on this New York Liberty team, but for some reason, Sabrina, for some reason, this team is not, I was telling my mom yesterday, I was like, why are the Liberty only beating the Sky by this much? They ended up barely beating the Chicago Sky. Now, yes, were the bench players in quite a bit? Yes. But at the same time, the New York Liberty bench players should be way better than the Sky players. Anyway, just saying. My point is, I don't think this is the year for New York. I thought it was the year. Now, when Emma Meeseman came over, I was like, oh, that's it. Game, set, match. It's over. However, in actually watching the games that has come through, and yes, Natasha Cloud, yes. If I rattle out people, I'm sure to miss somebody. But yes, absolutely, Natasha Cloud is great with her cool black mask for her nose. Anyway, what we have been seeing from the New York Liberty is confusing. Confusing. because this team, individual talent-wise, is way better than what they're playing like. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't understand what's going on. Like it is a coaching thing. It is a coaching thing. And I do think that Sandy Brondello is leaving a lot more to be desired from a coaching standpoint. Because how do you have that much talent and you not know where to put players on the court? And you not know what plays to run, right? I think that's, I'm telling you, if the New York Liberty lose in the first round, I think the Liberty front office is going to be looking at Sandy and be like, hey, what's going on? You had all the talent and you still lose? Just saying. Just saying, okay? Anyway, with the playoffs here, guys, the playoffs start on the 14th. That's something to know. All right? All right. And PM says, I actually can't believe the headline from last night aren't about Phee being the 50 in the 50, 40, 90 club. Well, it's actually the next thing we're talking about. 50, 40, 90. Let's talk about it. And, oh, wow. Thank you so much, LL Kune, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. LL Kune with the super chat says, thank you for keeping us entertained all season. Appreciate it. Appreciate you so much. Well, I appreciate you, LL Kune. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. It really does mean a lot. I do this because I love it, but like the idea that that you all do super chats and like you all give likes and comments and all that stuff, it does not go unnoticed, and it does not go unappreciated because I really do appreciate it. Really do. And since the comment was about 50, 40, 90, I want to talk about it, and I want to put it in perspective. All right? So in the WNBA, the only two players who have ever had a 50, 40, 90 season was Elena Delle Donne, which was the same year that I believe she won the MVP, and now Napheesa Collier. Napheesa Collier came into yesterday's game knowing what she needed to do. She knew what she needed to do from a field goal efficiency standpoint to actually get into the 50, 40, 90 club. And she was successful in getting there. So I want to talk through it. I want to talk through it real quick. And I wanted to not just talk about the 50, 40, 90, which is amazing. I also wanted to use that as a segue into the MVP conversation. Right? Because we all know how good both of these players are. Right? And also, for those who do not know, the 50, 40, 90 club, the 50, 40, 90 club is 50% shooting from the field, 40% shooting from the three, 90% shooting from the free throw line. That's what 50, 40, 90 means. All right? 50% from the field, 30% from the three-point line, 40% from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line. And so I wanted to share, first of all, amazing feat by Napheesa Collier. Like, truly amazing. She really is having a MVP-like season. She really is. Hands down. Now, let's compare the stats. And I've seen people compare stats with these two players. And yes, there are more stats I could list on this sheet. But I wanted to try my best to list as many of the relevant stats as possible. Now, yes, there's more stats. There's more stats. I could have, 20 different stats on the sheet. But I wanted to bring out the relevant information. So, games played. That was important. I wanted to call out the games played. 33 games played for Napheesa Collier. 40 games played for A'ja Wilson. The season is 44 games long. 44 games long. A'ja missed 4 games. Napheesa missed 11 games. And I think that actually, wait, did I mess up on that? Let's see. Let me just check my stats. All right. Anyway. Sorry, I lost track. Anyway, 11 games missed by Napheesa Collier, just 4 games missed by A'ja Wilson, which 11 games missed out of a 44-game season is a lot. It's 25%. If I'm doing math right. 25%. %25 of games missed. And I think that's the crux of the issue. That's why Napheesa Collier is not my MVP. That's why my MVP is A'ja Wilson. I think it's darn right almost impossible to miss 25% of the season and still win the MVP. Now, I will say this. If Napheesa wins the MVP, I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about it. This is not, to me, if Napheesa wins MVP, it's not as bad as when, in my opinion, Alyssa Thomas, should have won the MVP over Brianna Stewart. Now, Brianna Stewart's great. I truly believe Alyssa Thomas, pound for pound, most valuable player on the team, most impactful player in WNBA, I think it was Alyssa Thomas, hands down, that year. That Stewie won and AT did not win. So, yes. I have A'ja Wilson as my MVP. Now, I want to talk through why I have A'ja Wilson as my MVP. Number one, I have her as my MVP because she played the most games. 40 games over 33. Number two, A'ja Wilson has been pretty consistently great all season, but has had a very, very strong finish. Not just when it comes to her individual work with like all the 30-point games that she's had recently, but also it's led to team success with her team going on a massive, massive winning streak to end the season. It's another reason why I have A'ja Wilson over Napheesa Collier. Because, strong finishes are important. And when I was thinking about the show, I was mapping out what I was going to say. And y'all know the song, Strong Finish, Strong Finish. Everybody lift it up, say strong finish, I have strong faith. And I was like, as I was thinking about it, I was like, literally, as A'ja Wilson has had a very strong finish. Right? Earlier in the season, yes, Napheesa Collier. Pre-injury, yes, Napheesa Collier. But she went down and A'ja Wilson elevated even more. Right? That's a huge thing. Also, when you look at A'ja, she is someone who is just a juggernaut. Not only is A'ja Wilson scoring 23.4 points a game, not only has she had a ton of 30-point games this year, she's averaging 10.2 rebounds a game. She's literally averaging a double-double, shooting 50% from the field and 42% from the three-point line. Yes, A'ja Wilson does not get the 50, 40, 90. She doesn't. She gets the 50, 42, 85 on 40 games. I think when you look at it from a best player in the league standpoint, of course, it's A'ja Wilson. It was A'ja Wilson to begin with at the beginning of the season. But MVP is a mix of best player period in the league and most valuable player on a top team. And most valuable player on a top team, it was Napheesa Collier until she went down with injury. And now, with those two qualifiers, it's A'ja Wilson both times. It's A'ja Wilson both times, and it was sealed, in my opinion, that last time that we saw Minnesota play the Aces. Now, yes, does Minnesota win that series this season? Yes. Minnesota does win that series against the Aces, but that last game, to me, just continued to just show that, you know, it just shows how, in my opinion, it should be A'ja Wilson. And I wanted to put the assists in there just to show that, like, you know, both of them are getting their teammates involved and whatnot. When it comes to steals, both of them are tied with steals at 1.6 steals per game. And so that's a thing there I wanted to just highlight on that front. When it comes to just everything else, they're both very good defenders. They are. Elite, dare I say, defenders. Right? This season, A'ja Wilson's averaging 2.2 or 2.3, I should say, blocks per game, whereas Napheesa Collier is averaging 1.5. Right? These are players who also can get to the free throw line. Napheesa Collier averages around 5 free throws a game. A'ja Wilson averages 7 free throws per game. And so, yeah. OMR says 50, 40, 90 can't be ignored. It can't be ignored. Of course, it can't. However, my question is, how many games is necessary for you to play to win MVP? The WNBA does not have rules around that. There are no rules around that. There are no rules around how many games a player has to play. And so therefore, I think that's why I would not be mad if Napheesa wins. Because yes, Napheesa did have an MVP season. Minus the sheer amount of games she missed. Like truly, that's the difference. That's the difference. Yes, she hit 50, 40, 90, but she only played 20 she missed 25% of the season. And to me, that's too much. That's too much time missed. It's too much time missed. However, if she wins, I'm not going to be upset because the WNBA does not have rules around MVP, around how many games a player has to play. They don't have any rules around that. And so if she wins, well, for the games that she played, she did have an MVP season. She did. She did. Thank you so much to Slick Nick for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Tisha says Alyssa Thomas should not be counted out, but because her stats are balanced, people count her out. Being an all-around is never valued, even though she has more triple doubles than anyone else total in one season. Yeah. Alyssa Thomas is forever number 3. Alyssa Thomas, what she is doing is groundbreaking. It's amazing to see. AT is fantastic. You want to know how fantastic? She's averaging nearly a triple-double on the season. 15.4 points a game, 8.8 rebounds a game, 9.2 assists per game. She's had a boatload of triple-doubles this year. As Tisha said, more in 1 year than everybody else combined. AT is remarkable. However, if we were in a different era, yes, AT would be MVP. Probably would have won it at least once or maybe even twice. But this era that we are in, with the likes of a A'ja Wilson, it doesn't allow for a player like an AT to win an MVP in this type of era. Because AT is probably one of the most balanced players we've seen in forever, right? She gets her teammates involved. She does all the little things. Like, she is a point guard. She is a post player. She's a little bit of everything. But she's playing in an era that, in my opinion, will have, when it all is said and done, the greatest player to ever play in A'ja Wilson. And so it's sort of like one of those things where, like, you can't compete with that. Right? Yes, you've had a ton of triple doubles. Yes, you are super impactful, but you're going up against someone who averages 23 points, 10 rebounds a game, shoots super efficiently, and is arguably the most dominant defender in the league. AT is wonderful. AT is an elite defender, but you put AT against A'ja? AT against, Nafisa at times, and AT struggles a little bit. Like, I'm a big fan of AT. I really am. She's one of my favorite players in the league. She doesn't get enough attention. However, she's not MVP. Not this year. I think the 1 year that she should have been the MVP was when Stewie got it. And since then, it's been overwhelmingly A'ja, where she can't even get in it. She can't even get in the conversation. So, yes, when it comes down to top 4 for MVP, I got A'ja Wilson on top. Can't take her spot. At number 1. I got Nafisa Collier at number 2. I got Alyssa Thomas at number 3. And arguably at number 4, I have Alicia Gray. That's my top 4. But because people like direct comparison, I am primarily focusing on top 2. But technically, there is a top 4. Right? All right. Shamika says, if AT had an AT on her team, she'd be MVP, but she does all the hard work for the team to win. Her focus isn't just points. If AT had an AT on her team, she wouldn't be AT. The reason why AT works is because she's like the only one like that on her team, right? She's the only one. She's the only other person, well, besides Natasha Mack, with a severely limited range in terms of shooting wise. and she condenses the court. You can't have two ATs on the same team on the floor at the same time. It wouldn't work. Just like people were saying like, oh, Angel should go to Phoenix. And it's like, well, I don't know how those two would work because both are kind of limited in their shooting. Both are really good facilitators and whatnot, but it only works if you are surrounded by 4 other shooters. Right? Quinta says, can the Mercury win without AT though? No, they can't. Well, they did. She was out for a little bit. Remember, guys, AT did not play the full season. She played 39 games this season. She played 39 games this season. And so, yeah. But yeah, anyway. I got Asia Wilson. Yes. Nafisa Collier. Fan-freaking-tastic. 50, 40, 90 is huge. Elite. Elite. Slick Nick says, Quita, unfortunately, AT is in the wrong era. Yeah. She's great. And in another era, she probably would have been MVP. But that's just not the era we're in. That's not the era we are in. Adrian says, do you think Camilla could work in the Aces system? Yes. Yeah. Yes, 100%. I think that would be a very easy, thing to put her in. Chicago Sky, don't trade her. But if they did, yeah, that'd be a great fit. A really, really great fit. But anyway, guys, that's the conversation about MVP. Yes, Nafisa's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But truly, the fact that she got injured against the Aces, right? The Minnesota Lynx were killing the Aces. Nafisa Collier was still in the game. Nafisa Collier got hurt and proceeded to kind of destroy her MVP season, meaning it was destroyed because she was hurt for so long. 11 games missed, 25% of the season. I think that's too much. I do think that's too much. But, yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at. That is where we are at. Okay. Thanks so much, Albert, for the super chat. Says the New York Liberty are undefeated this season when their starting 5 finish the game. However, it's challenging to develop chemistry when using 16 different starting lineups. Yes. However, this team has so much talent on it that I get it. Having different starting lineups and whatnot, like that's a thing. Yes, I understand that. However, the people on this New York Liberty team are so individually talented that having various starting lineups and having just various lineups in general shouldn't be that as big of a factor for them as it is for other people. That's and I know some of y'all may disagree with that, but yes, different lineups, having people in and out of the lineup, having people injured and whatnot. Yes, that did disrupt chemistry. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the New York Liberty is just, in my opinion, more talented than the rest of the league. In terms of having Jonquel Jones, Breanna Stewart, Emma Meeseman, right, on your team. Two former MVPs, one, I believe, finals MVP, which I believe was Emma Meeseman. You got Natasha Cloud, one of the best point guards in the league, on your team. You have Sabrina Ionescu, who a lot of people at various points were trying to put her in the MVP conversation, which was a thing. You have arguably one of the most well, not arguably. You have one of the most tenured coaches in the WNBA when it comes to Sandy Brondella and what she's done, not just in Phoenix, but also in New York. What? I get it. You have various rosters. I get it. I mean, you have various lineups. But at what point are we looking at New York and saying, nah, this is suspect? Because y'all are the better team. Y'all should be winning. Why are you losing? Why are you losing so much? Why is the New York Liberty number 5 in the playoffs? Why? Now, yes. Lots of injuries. Yes, Sabrina was out for a while. Stewie was out for a while. I get that. Kennedy Burke was out. I get all of that. But at what point are we going to really say, dog, what's really the problem in New York? And to me, it comes down to coaching. That's what it comes down to. There's no way you get the best player outside of America in Emma Meeseman to join your team late. And y'all still losing? Still? Hey. Cheryl Reed said that, hey, Emma Meeseman may have chose the wrong team, and maybe she did. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's suspect. It is so suspect. So suspect. So if Liberty do not beat the Phoenix Mercury, there needs to be a big excuse. There has to be a big excuse as to why. Because otherwise, yeah, just saying. I do want to move on. Because yesterday, I was at the Sky game. And yeah, Evie, it's looking like Angel might leave Chicago. It's looking like that might happen. And I just want to briefly talk about, I'm not going to talk about this for long. I did a live stream after the game was over. I was able to catalog what was happening on Twitter, in real time. Yesterday, as the Chicago Sky faced the New York Liberty last game of the season, we found out that Angel was not going to play in the last game of the season. Did I expect her to play? Honestly, not anymore. No, not at all. I didn't. But she didn't play. Angel had 2 wardrobe changes in the game. She was in the first half, had 1 outfit on. Second half starts. I was like, hey, did Angel change clothes? And it seemed, from where I was sitting in the arena, which is behind the Sky bench, with Jeff Pagliacca sitting in the Sky box, like right above me, it seemed that Sky fans were letting themselves be heard. I saw several Fire Jeff signs, including like this one, we rocking with Angel, and then hashtag Fire Jeff. I saw others where it was like Fire Jeff was huge. Jeff Pagliacca is the general manager of the Chicago Sky. I saw people with sell the team signs. I saw that a lot of fans were upset. And at one point they started a chant, "Sell the team." And as it was happening, I got my phone, I recorded it. And I want to just play that for you all so you can all hear kind of how it sounded in the arena. It was kind of wild because, like, I was telling my mom, I was like, man, I didn't expect them to do the chant like that. I didn't expect it. But here we go. Here we go. This is video footage that I took yesterday. This is my footage that I took yesterday, and I thought it was pretty wild. Oh no, my sound isn't working. Let me fix that. And I want to talk through my thoughts about that chant and the whole thing, because I think, contrary to popular opinion, I think you can hold two things at the same time. Okay? I think you can hold two things at the same time. So, this... Alright, let me play this video. Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it. For some reason, my Safari wasn't working, so I had to open this up in Chrome. All right. So here is how it sounded in the arena yesterday. He was here earlier, but that has to be tough.
There's a girl over there with sign right here.
I'm just thinking, like, the emotions of it. Like, man, that has to be tough to hear people scream, "Fire you," man. So yesterday, when I forgot who it was at the free throw line. Around the arena, people were chanting "Fire Jeff." It was so loud that it was picked up by the broadcast. And yes, the section I was in, sections around me was saying it. On the other side, I saw video clips of I saw video clips of people on the other side who were chanting it as well. And so this seemed like a full thing from the crowd with multiple sections at the same time screaming, "Fire Jeff." And in the broadcast itself, not only did you hear "Fire Jeff, fire Jeff," you saw the video, the camera was the main camera. It was on the sky bench because I think the ball was wet or something like that, and they were trying to either dry it off or get a new ball or something. So the ref was over by the sky bench, and you saw the faces of players as they were hearing that in real time. Most notably, Courtney Vandersloot, who seemingly heard it, and made a face. I mean, because I was sit right behind the sky bench. And so, like, there's no doubt in my mind that she heard it. She heard it. The whole bench heard it. The whole bench heard people, people talking about Fire Jeff. Now, I want to talk through my thoughts about that. Because you all can see my tweet here. Like, breaking Fire Jeff chants just broke out in the arena. It made me feel kind of bad for him. Imagine being at work and hearing people chant that you should be fired. So I posted that alongside the video clip of people chanting that. And I got a lot of people who were like, what are you feeling sorry for? Don't be so soft. Like, what's your issue? You know? Donna says, Quita, why did you say you feel bad for Jeff P when the crowd was saying fire Jeff? Do you not think he should be fired? Here's the thing. I don't think that I really want to be on the record calling for anybody to get fired. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of feels icky to me. I just do. I think it kind of feels icky. I will say this. I 100% would be totally okay if the Sky fired Jeff Pagliacca. Here's the thing. Jeff Pagliacca has made a ton of mistakes. Yes, no one wants to go to the Sky. Not an issue. We understand that. No one wants to go to the Chicago Sky. I gave this example before. I'm going to give it again. Y'all remember when nobody wanted to go to Indiana? Because Indiana was terrible. Like, I mean, in terms of like their play. Like, no one wanted to go to Indiana, right? After the Tamika Catchings days was over, Indiana kind of entered into a horrible time where they were just bad. And free agents just didn't want to go there. And so they had to pay players very, very inflated prices to get them on the team. I.e., why Erica Wheeler at one point was getting paid so much money. Right? And the thing about the Indiana Fever is, especially late, they kept their draft picks. They didn't trade away all of their draft picks. And to me, that is the biggest issue with Jeff Pagliacca. He has traded away our assets for more mediocrity, for an extended period of mediocrity. The only, in my opinion, the only really good trade that he did was last year, before last season, when he traded up to get Angel. Now, supposedly, Minnesota was not even thinking about getting Angel to begin with, but we don't know that. So trading up to get Angel, to me, I think that's like the only real good trade. The Marie Mabry to Connecticut trade, I know she wanted to leave Connecticut, but at the same time, The trade to send the number 3 pick in this year's draft packing for Ariel Atkins. No. And we're still going to feel that next year. We're still going to feel that in the future. Like, no. The fact that we moved up in the draft this year to pick up Haley Van Lith, like it was a big bidding war for Haley Van Lith in the draft. It's not smart. Not smart. I am of the mind that he has made a ton of mistakes. However, I feel a lot of empathy because yes, he has, in my opinion, not been great. However, I put myself in his shoes, and yes, even though you're not great at your job, I don't know. I just like, that's what I do. I put myself in people's shoes, and I'm just like, man, imagine if that was me. Imagine if, yes, I know I made a lot of mistakes. I know everybody else knows I made a lot of mistakes. I'm trying to fix it for the future, and people are screaming at my workplace, fire me. I don't know, like that has to be tough. And I don't think I'm soft. I don't think that, you know, I'm fake or I'm a loser because I feel bad for that to happen to someone. Now, were the fans warranted in saying fire Jeff? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're warranted in saying that. And also, I feel bad about it. Like, it just, you know, it just, I don't know. It just wouldn't feel good if I was him. Now, has he done some wrong stuff? 100%. Case in point, number one, firing Teresa Weatherspoon. Like that shouldn't have happened. It really shouldn't have. Of course this happens in every sport. Like, I'm not saying that me saying I feel bad for someone does not mean that I'm saying that people who were chanting that should have stopped saying that. I'm not saying that those people were not warranted in saying that. I'm not saying that people should not do that in the future. That's fine. I am saying I have empathy. And yeah. So if the Sky fired him in the offseason, I won't be shocked. I won't be upset about it at all. But I'm not publicly saying that someone should get fired. But yeah. Chicago Cheetah says, Quita, we were lied to. We were told one thing and we have 2 seasons of this. I mean, we were lied to. We were. We were lied to. Yes. Told that this is a win now team, that everything's going to be great, that supposedly the issues of last year was long gone, even though we almost made the playoffs last year, and this year we were at the bottom. Right? Erica says, Quita, feel bad for the players having to sit in silence, sit out, ask for transfers. Tell me I'm horrible, all because of Jeff's choices. Feel bad for the players, not Jeff. I feel bad for players too. I don't understand how, like, there's like a, I don't know. There seems to be an exclusive way to feel, which to me makes no sense. Like, do you all not understand nuance? Do you not understand that, like, various things can be true at the same time? Yes, Jeff has been bad at his job. He has been. Yes, the players are in an impossible situation. Right? Yes, this team was not set up for success, even though we were told that this is a win now team. Yes, Jeff Pagliacca fired Teaspoon when he shouldn't have. Yes, Jeff Pagliacca called out Angel earlier this year when he shouldn't have, when she was doing all the stuff, and he said he needed more from her. Right? And specifically called out her and not the rest of the team. All of that is true. And you can still have empathy for others. So that's my take on it. I feel like that's reasonable. But yeah, anyway. Cormero, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. It says, it's your Christian values. Don't apologize. We need more empathy in today's world. We do need more empathy. We do. We really do. We really do. Carmela says, I've seen Quita's content on several pages this morning. So happy for her. Awesome people on the internet. If you come across it, please be sure to like, comment, and tag her. Yes. Tag me. Yes. 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 This is hilarious. Dexter says Quita is bought and paid for. Really? I just don't think that. Okay, all right. I don't know. I think it's very, very odd. Very, very odd. Very, very odd how some of y'all just... Oh, man. Row 2 says, Quita, some season ticket holders are tired. Has Jeff acknowledged his poor decision-making? What recourse do fans have? Not voice their disappointment, just accept it? Fans should say their disappointment. They should. They absolutely should. And honestly, I don't disagree with the fans chanting that at all. But I feel like as someone who has a decent amount of platform, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable publicly saying that. But yes, talk to me in private. I'll tell you what I feel. Meaning about, like, I'll say exactly what I'm saying on this channel, but, like, I don't feel like I should say publicly people should get fired. I can say people are bad at their jobs, which he is bad at his job, 100%. I could say that he should never have been hired as a GM in the first place, which he shouldn't have never been hired as GM in the first place. He is a trainer, right? A really good trainer, from what I've heard. Just because you're a really good trainer does not mean you should automatically just hop into a GM role. To me, should have never been the GM to begin with. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Should never even been hired as a GM. Never. Never, never, never. Ebony says, I'm with Quita. I refuse to be on record chanting someone else should be fired. But I don't have any issues with people saying that. Literally, my whole section was saying it, and I was cool with it. I did feel bad for him, but I was cool with it. You know? King K says, Quita, you're paid for? Question mark. How much do you get? Question. Millions, I hope. 0. I actually pay this guy. Oh, man. 0. Which is why I find it funny that people are, you know. Dexter says, if you are bad at your job, you need to be fired. Absolutely. Yes. If you're bad at your job, you need to get fired. Yes. 100%. 100%. Chuckle says, Quita, I think you underestimated how many fans have zero tolerance for the Skies organization's blatant mistreatment of Angel and other players. Maybe. I said I understood why they suspended her. I get why they did it. I do. I get why they did it. Because they were like, oh, it's team over, it's team over individuals, but you got to suffer the consequences of it. She's not going to take too kindly to that, and I don't blame her. And we are at where we are at. Now, I'm sure the Sky are thinking in hindsight, man, we should never suspend her. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But because she name dropped Suit, I think that's the reason why they decided to suspend her. I get why they did it. Was it the right decision to do? Net, no. But I get it. I 100% get it. And if your thing is it's in-house over everything, then yeah, you do it. Do I think if it was anybody else other than Angel, do I think that they would probably have gotten more than half a game suspension? Yeah. But still, I don't know. I feel like you can hold lots of seemingly contradictory ideas at the same time, because if you really dig deep, it's not actually contradictory. It's just on the surface it is. Whoa, thank you so much, Tough Dana. I appreciate. Salute. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, not only should Asia easily be the MVP, they need to be totally correct and give her defensive player too. And everybody has a job to do. So whoever's job it is to fire Mr. P, they need to do their job. What if it was your job? Number one, yes, I do think heavily that Asia Wilson should be heavily considered for Defensive Player of the Year, because literally look at Asia Wilson's game. Defensively, she is a juggernaut. She is a juggernaut. And yes, I agree with everybody has a job to do. And yeah, ultimately, the ownership of the Chicago Sky have to make a decision. In my opinion, the way things are right now, I highly anticipate Angel asking for a trade. What would be the best for the Chicago Sky to do is to say, you know what? Michael Alter, Nadia Rawlinson, sit down with Angel in person. I know she's flying off and jet setting and is going to be doing her thing for the rest of the summer or fall. But call her and be like, hey, Angel, where will you be next Tuesday? Wherever you are, we're going to fly to you. And we're going to talk to you about what would be the best to get this situation back on track. We want you to be on this team. You are the future of this team. What would you like to see? And I think they should have, Nadia should be writing notes about whatever Angel says. And you say, thank you so much, Angel. We hope that we want to see you on this team. We want you to give us some time. Y'all think it over. Figure out what she's saying. Like, I don't know, maybe she's going to ask for specific people like, hey, this person should be gone. Maybe one of those people is Jeff. And as an ownership group, you have to decide, what is your future? Is your future Angel and Camilla, which I think it should be? Or is your future just Jeff Pagliacca, Courtney Vandersloot, who will be retiring soon because, she's going to be back next year. She said she's going to be back next year. But at the end of the day, this is not Courtney Vandersloot of like 5 to 7 years ago. It's just not. What's your future? And I hope that Michael Alter and Nadia Rawlinson go to wherever Angel is, go to her and tell her how important she is. And try to see if it's reasonable to make some of the thoughts and opinions that she has happen. Because I think she is the future of this team. She really is. She really is. And I could see a pathway forward of her staying on this team next year and it being a great relationship. But you got to figure out first, what does she want? What would be most helpful? Is it getting rid of Jeff? Okay, well then get rid of Jeff. Right? And so that's my thoughts there. That's my thoughts there. Like I really don't want to see her get traded. But if she requests a trade, she's in a position where she could just sit out. She could just sit out, Linda says your Angel video was shared by Yahoo Sports. Yes. Yeah. Yahoo reached out to me yesterday for that video. And then ESPN reached out for another video. I told them, you can use it as long as you credit me. So we'll see what they do. Chuckle says, what you are missing is the Sky does not value Angel. They do not think Angel is important. I think they misread the entire situation. Yes, they think that Angel is important because, I mean, it's clear that Angel is very important. But I think they miscalculated her response to the suspension. Because you have to think about it in the whole totality of things. Angel said what she said. The article gets printed. That night, they have a game. Angel apologizes to her teammates in private and publicly that same day. That same day, Angel gets her 8th technical. So she is not traveling with the team Friday to go to Indiana to play. While the team is away from her in Indiana, they then announce that she's been suspended for half a game. So she's away from the team because she was suspended for the game via the league. And it seemed like everything was okay. Yeah, it's all good. Angel apologized. We're all good to go. And now it's Angel's away from the team for a day. And now she gets suspended for half a game. And you just got to think about how it's not just about making the decision to do what you do. Because again, I understand why they suspended her. I do. But thinking about it in the totality of things, did we just being away from her for a day or so, and then now you're oh, now we're gonna suspend you, and did y'all talk to her? What exactly was the real conversation? Was it, I don't know, and it felt like it just went downhill from there. It really did. It really did. And it's very, very unfortunate, but yeah. Tough Dating, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, we'll trade Brink and Hamby for Angel and Cardoso. I wish. Yeah, I think isn't Hamby going to be a free agent after the season? I gotta look that up. I mean, Kim Brink is for sure still on her rookie deal. But yeah, I would not be in favor of that trade at all. No, I would not be in favor of that trade. No. That would be that could be very beneficial to LA, but no, I would not be in favor of that trade. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, and that just continued the fire. That just continued the players in their thoughts. And again, all the players are everybody should be able to voice their thoughts. It felt like there was a more cohesive locker room. And this has kind of changed. King K, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, sorry, Quita, guess I'm bad at sarcasm. Who would you draft with that top 5 pick the Sky have? I don't know, because I don't know. Wait, first of all, what? First of all, the Chicago Sky, they have the Connecticut Suns pick in next year's draft. And we don't know where that pick will lie. We have no idea where that pick will lie. And so, I don't know. Well, lottery is normally top 4. However, with now that additional team being added to the WNBA, I don't know if the lottery is now going to be 5, the top 5 picks. Like I don't know if top 5 is going to be included in the lottery. Like I guess I don't know. I don't know if that number 5 pick will stay in number 5 or if that'll be included with 1 through 4. Because normally the lottery is like 1 through 4, and then we'll see what the odds say and who actually gets what picks. With the new Golden State team, it now instead of 4 teams not making the playoffs, it's 5 teams. And so I don't know if all 5 teams are going to be included in the lottery or not. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer your question. I don't know how to answer your question specifically. It depends on who drop. It depends. So if top 5 is considered into the lottery, that could end up being a number 1 pick. That could be the number 2 pick. I think the Sky should, if there's a chance of drafting an Olivia Miles, you do that because you need a point guard for the future. And a point guard for the future could be Olivia Miles. So yeah, if Olivia Miles is available, yes, you pick up Olivia Miles. To me, that's the number 1 pick. Like it's Olivia Miles because you need a point guard for the future. You 100% do. And Olivia Miles could be exactly that. So yeah, that's what I would say. But I don't think Olivia Miles lasts until the number 5 picks, and so that would have to be we'd have to be in the lottery for that. They need J-Rock. They need more than a PG, but you only have 1 pick in the first round. So you got to go 1 step at a time. You got to go with the most important need that the team has. And the most important need is a point guard. That's the biggest need that the Sky has for the future. You need a point guard. Courtney Vandersloot, she's great. Legend. Amazing. However, her best basketball days are behind her. They just are. And I don't think that's an insult to say to somebody who's 36. To me, that's not an insult. It's really not. I think it's the truth. She can still be a fantastic leader, but the Sky should not be anticipating having Sloot be the starting point guard for like the next 2 years. Like it's just not. No. And so that's my thoughts there. That's my thoughts. Maybe controversial. I don't know. But that's my thoughts there. But besides a point guard, you need shooters. Who is the best shooter in this upcoming draft? AZ Fudd. The best shooter in the draft. The best shooter. Best shooter. The best. And so, yeah, if you can get a player like an AZ Fudd out, that'd be amazing too. That would be amazing too. She wins, says, Quita, that's what Jeff wants. Sloot is your franchise player. No. The Sky's franchise player is Angel Reese. It's not Sloot. It used to be Sloot. It's not Sloot anymore. Now, we're going to see what the Sky decide to do. But it should not, the franchise player should not be Sloot. It really should not be. It should be. And that's no disrespect to Sloot. It's just reality has come. A new day has dawned. And it's Angel and then it's Camilla, and then it's everybody else. That's how it should be. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, guys. I gotta go. Thank you so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really would help a whole lot. Thank you so much. Guys, I have a playoff preview, everything you need to know video in the works, so expect that to be done. We also have the exit interviews that we're going to be going through as well, and so that's a thing also. All right. Thank y'all so much for walking with Quita in the morning. I appreciate it. Sorry for being late. And I will see y'all in the next one. As always, so long, farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye for now until we meet again.